Friends, in this week's Saturday Wisdom, I would touch upon the right to information, or RTI as we know, as it evolved and as it is practiced. It's a fundamental right, and hence we must understand it in full for such a law to be useful to us. Freedom of speech and expression enshrined in Articles 19, 20, 21 and 22 is a fundamental right that the Constitution of India guarantees. However, people cannot exercise a right to freedom of speech and expression unless they have information. In a way, right to information is a built-in feature of these articles. RTI Act came about in 2005 to buttress the fundamental right enshrined in the Constitution with an objective to empower the citizens, promote transparency and accountability in the working of the government, contain corruption, and make our democracy work for the people in the real sense. Has it really delivered? Today, after almost 15 years, we need to ask this question. Has it really delivered? Are private organizations like Amazon, Flipkart, Vodafone or any other in the private domain not democratic institutions? Is corruption limited only to the government establishments? There are any number of private organizations that do business with the government. A classic model will evolve, where one side of the equation gives out information maybe in unconnected sequences, and the other side is completely shielded from giving any information at all. Citizens can go in circles, collect the dots as they are doled out, and connect the missing dots the way they like. Enough material for developing an artificial intelligence based video game. That was in jest. Is it not pertinent to ask why they are excluded from RTI? Is this a case of all men being equal, some are more equal? George Orwell, we must have read Animal Farm. Right to equality under Article 14 to 18 ensures equality before law, prohibiting discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth, and equality of opportunity. Right against exploitation under Articles 23-24 prohibits all forms of forced labor, child labor, and trafficking of human beings. Right to freedom of religion under Articles 25 to 28 includes freedom of conscience and free profession, practice, and propagation of religion. Cultural and educational rights are given under Articles 29 and 30. They preserve the right of any section of citizens to conserve their culture, language, or script. Right to constitutional remedies under Articles 32 to 35 allow enforcement of fundamental rights. Right to privacy part of Article 21 protects life and liberty of the citizens. A great constitution indeed to govern our lives, and those who created it must be truly lauded. A reality check would reveal that we are anything but equal. We discriminate on almost all grounds. Forced labor, child labor, human trafficking keeps rearing its head all the time. We believe that our freedom is more important than that of the others. And we are private citizens only as long as everyone else is public. Courts, as hard pressed as they are, deliver justice to only those who can possibly approach them, leaving rest of them to suffer the ignominies and inequalities. Admittedly, RTI empowers citizens. However, we often see information being given in bits and pieces, delayed and withheld on various counts. By the time information that can be useful reaches the citizens, could actually be rendered useless, obsolete, and incomplete, reminding an age-old adage that extols, "Whoever said, speak the truth, never said, speak the complete truth." The entire process of litigation or redressal will have to wait till all information is sequenced and collated. One has to now approach the courts, and it is quite possible that something springs from the blue book during the course of hearing, rendering the case a subject of analytical jurisprudence, testing the mettle of the advocates one engages. Contextual notes made on files would possibly be made to be seen in contexts that never existed when the act purportedly was written or the act purportedly was executed, rendering the whole exercise futile. There is a flip side to the RTI story. As it is, seeking information that one can actually use is not Herculean enough. Frivolous information is often repeatedly sought to harass, malign, and defame every officer in that chain. Statistics often hide more than they reveal. Data obtained is often presented in such a way that the observations are erroneous, lead to twisted outcomes, and general loss of credibility, all happening in an RTI day. A classic case of harassment was when the CIC ordered that the petitioner search a government office himself for the information he sought when he claimed it was not given to his satisfaction. The petitioner approached the said office, heady with the order, after office hours, and laid claim to searching the office himself. The beleaguered officer convinced him with great difficulty that he needs to come the next day to do his bidding. When the office opened in the morning, having purchased some breathing time and composed as he was by then, collecting his wits as it was, had to also ensure that his large office was actually shielded from being subjected to insertions of papers rather than a search that yielded papers. However, it was beyond him to ensure that such was not the case. Hitting upon an out-of-box idea, he carefully ensured placement of several video cameras throughout the office before the search began. The petitioner, obviously on top of the moon, in the belief that he could bring a government officer to his knees, was taken aback when a camera followed him wherever he went and promptly abandoned the search. Obviously, the order never said cameras couldn't follow. The moot point in this story is, what have we brought RTI to? Any new system, rule, or order must facilitate and not throttle. In the name of transparency, are we using the grey matter to create more restrictions? Some hilarious RTI petitions kill the spirit of the act itself, as when a resident of Hyderabad sought details from Andhra Pradesh governor on how many times he visited temples in a day, and also copy of the dinner menu hosted at his official residence. What purpose would that have served? An RTI doesn't really have an age limit. Legally, even a 6-year-old can file one. A 9-year-old Pranav filed an RTI that forced the Delhi police to register his stolen bike. He even asked for a 2,500 rupee compensation and demanded action against the assistant sub-inspector who was refusing to file an FIR. In 2009, a Pune RTI activist revealed how local politicians were using the RTI to spy on him and try to stop him before he revealed their illegal activities. Even bizarre was when the applicant literally asked where the exam papers for the Aligarh Muslim University were printed and where they were checked. While the RTI was brought in for transparency, some geniuses are turning it into a joke. Like someone literally asked the Prime Minister's office if Achhe Din are here. Can you imagine what response was given? Work in progress. Or like when a class 6 girl asked if Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ever got an actual father of the nation title. What was even more awesome was that this was in 2012 when the Congress party was in power. The question went to the PMO, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and then to the National Archives of India. Unfortunately, for all concerned, no one had an answer. Even astonishing was when, to an RTI query on what a certain government meeting costed, the reply given was 40 lakh rupees and more. Rupees 75,000 on floral decorations, accommodation of guests, rupees 26.7 lakhs officials' travels, rupees 8.8 lakhs advertising the event, rupees 5.1 lakhs on other arrangements. What was actually spent on the principal activity or the success of that activity for which the meeting was needed was never asked nor was given. Obviously, political brownie points were sought to be settled. Is it time to relook at the act itself? A gap analysis for all our acts will put each one of them in the right perspective. An analysis of what was intended and what is being delivered will be revealing in itself. A debate that empowers the citizens in real sense is in order. And modifications to RTI also may be in order. It doesn't matter if the debate results in a new law or actually repeals several of the existing laws. We all know that knowledge is power. Information is also power. But then, if the officers who must facilitate the sharing of such information and knowledge hoard it, is it not an act of tyranny camouflaged in humility? Friends, so we come to the end of this Saturday's episode on right to information and the act that bolsters it. I wish the very best for the weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, namaskar and dhanyavad.